Let's bring him on, folks. The one and only, the cooker, Bob Cook. Bob, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, and I apologize for the lighting, but that's what happens when you get old and give up on life. You don't want to be seen, so you got to keep the lighting low,
Yes,
deflect reality a little bit.
absolutely. Great to see you.
Good to see
I
you.
mean, man, it's been too long. Oh my gosh. I mean, man, what a storied career you've had in wrestling, man. I mean, it spans a lot of years. Take
Yeah.
us back, man. Where did it all begin for you?
Well, I started watching wrestling in 1975, if you want to go back that far, but I moved from Michigan to Florida and met a kid named Dale Dibler who was playing basketball with me one day and said he wanted to go home and watch wrestling. And I'm like, what? It's still light out. What are you, crazy? Why do you want to watch that crap? This is like, I was only like 12 years old, and I went home and watched it. It was Florida Championship Wrestling. Terry Funk was going crazy. Gordon Sully was calling the action, and I fell in love with it. Just like that.
Oh, bad. Okay, I know you know very well that once it gets in your system, you never truly leave the business.
Yep. In those days, the original shows were taped at Tampa Sportatorium on Wednesday mornings and then aired out of St. Pete on Channel 44, and they would air on Sundays out of Channel 40 out of Sarasota, and then the next Saturday out of Fort Myers on Channel 20. I used to watch the show every airing, right? You'd watch the original on Saturday, unless you went to a show like at the Bayfront or Robarts or, a live show. You always watch that show. Then Sunday morning, I'd watch the same show because we didn't have VCRs back then.
Right.
So I'd watch the same show to all three channels that it was on in our area.
Oh man, so many good memories. I mean, Eddie Graham's one of the greatest promoters of all time.
Yep. His feuds with the great Malenko, the one who trained me in wrestling, are still talked about. If it wasn't for those feuds in the 1960s, Florida wrestling probably would have died.
Absolutely.
I mean, it did die, but that was Jim Crockett's fault. But we won't get into that because, Jimmy's pushing up daisies.
Yeah, that's a whole new bag of tricks there, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, but such a rich territory Florida was, and to be a part of that and be brought into the business by the great Malenko family, that must have been a huge honor.
Oh, unbelievable. I mean, the great Malenko was like a second father to me, besides just being your trainer, your mentor. He was your friend, but he was like a second father. He gave me so much advice over the years. And I was just 18 years old when I started, so I was a clean slate of lacking knowledge that he had, and he was more than willing to share it. And I always tell people when it comes to the great Malenko, to give you an idea what kind of man he was, no matter how you were feeling on any given day, whether you were down and over your career, having marital problems, financial problems, or just depressed. When you got done talking to the great Malenko, you felt like you could take on the world because he lived 1,000 lives. I mean, he was rich, he was poor, he was famous, he lost his fame as he got older. You know what I'm saying? He had the answer. I called him the answer man.
Answer man.
I wrote a song about the great Malenko a couple of years ago, and I have that in there. He's the answer man, and he was. He had the answer for everything, and he just made you feel like $1 million. And when he said, "How are you doing?" he meant you to respond with how you were actually doing, because he cared how you were doing when he said it. It wasn't like most people just, "Hey, how you doing today?" I'm okay. But he meant it, and he wanted to know your problems,
right.
And he was willing to sit there and listen to you any time of day. You could call him if you needed to, He's one of those guys, let's put it bluntly. If he called me at 4 in the morning and said, "Bob, something went wrong, grab a shovel," I'm grabbing a shovel.
Right. You're right. That's great. I mean, and it's especially in this crazy business. I mean, it's really hard to find true, sincere friends and family nowadays. And
I know a lot of people he trained that feel the same way, and his son's the same way. Dean and Joe, I love them, and everybody keep Joe in your prayers. He's in the hospital, and just hoping for the best because he's one of my best friends. I love him, the whole family. And I'm not ready to lose Joe, especially we lost Dory a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and man, my brother-in-law passed away this week. It's just been one of those crappy years.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling. Don't too well.
But you
Um,
also realize the reality of life. The longer you live, the more you're going to lose, and it doesn't make it easy. But all it means is spend more time with them if you can. Forgive them if you have a problem with them, and just I don't know what to say. It's just a depressing thing when people like that pass away.
yeah, it really is. It really is. It's never easy. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's such a rich wrestling tradition, with the Malenkos, and with the Funks, the Briscoes, and such a great era of wrestling that you came up on.
Yeah, it was the best. And one of my biggest thrills was the first time I wrestled for championship wrestling from Florida, and Gordon Soley called my match, and I went home and got to watch it, on the TV, and it was just having. My dad was never into wrestling; he could never understand, and he didn't. It wasn't because it was fake or whatever. He just couldn't understand why anybody would want to do to their bodies what we did to our bodies. Because I'd come home from the school bruised and tired and beat up, and he never understood it. But when he
Right.
saw me on Championship Wrestling from Florida with Gordon Soley calling the action, he said, I don't agree with your career choice, but I'm proud of you because I know you did what you've always wanted to do. And it's a big accomplishment. And it was to have Gordon Soley and to become friends with Gordon, obviously, over the years was just some of my most cherished memories in Championship Wrestling from Florida was sitting upstairs at the Sportatorium after the show with Gordon in his office just talking wrestling.
Oh wow. That is so cool. I mean, Gordon Solie can make a nursery rhyme. Sounds cool. I mean, he
Right.
had that voice.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
used to say he had that knack. He could make a bad match good, a good match great, and a great match legendary. That was Gordon.
Oh man, I miss him so much. Oh my
Lance
gosh.
Russell was my second favorite announcer. I don't know why,
Yes,
but
Lance is amazing.
his delivery and the fact he wouldn't let the nonsense just pass as nonsense. He would always, "Hey, come on, Eddie, don't do that." He would kind of talk back to the wrestlers. It was great stuff.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Oh
And
man,
you
it was
see
great.
today they just honored Jerry Lawler in Memphis with his own
Uh-huh.
street, the Jerry the King Lawler
Oh
street.
man, how
And
cool
he
is
was
that?
there. They had a huge turnout. The mayor was there. Of course, Jimmy Hart, he's always there. And
Wow.
it was awesome to see. It's on Facebook, the whole presentation. They had a ring set up where it
Oh,
is. And a lot of people showed up in the heat to honor the King, who's always been one of my favorites. It's depressing to see the King talk nowadays just because of the strokes, because he was so quick-witted. When I worked for the I don't mean to be rambling, but when I worked for the WWF in '95, a lot of people like to say there was a pecking order or you had to dress certain. I never got that memo. I could dress wherever I wanted. It was like, hey, the losers dress there. I dressed wherever I wanted. So when I was in the WWF, I always dressed with Lawler and Paul Bear because they were hilarious. I just sat in the
oh
corner
yeah.
and listened to them play off each other. They were hilarious.
Oh, that was a good choice.
Yeah, that's what it wasn't. It wasn't like I had to do it, but I could dress anywhere I wanted. So it's like they entertained me.
Right, right. I mean, gosh, you've been in the ring with some of the best in our business. I mean, tell us some of the greats you've been in the ring with, and what was it like
Oh,
sharing the ring with them?
geez, how long you got? No, so many greats. Dory
Take a
Funk
deep breath.
Jr.
Oh
Dory
man,
Funk
Dory
Jr.
Funk.
Besides
Wow.
against Dory, some of my funnest matches were tag team matches with Dory against Bugsy McCraw and Jerry Gray, who passed away this year
Oh
too, was
man.
one of my best friends and my Mighty Yankee tag team partner. But we
Right.
had so much fun. And those are the kind of matches where it's just like, the finish, and we'll see you out there. And you didn't talk about none before the match; just went out there and it just gelled. It's just so much
Oh
fun
yeah.
and it's so easy and just fun. What it should be, in my opinion. But
Absolutely.
got so many Kevin Sullivan, the Road Warriors, the Steiners, Luger,
Oh
Sting,
man.
Flair, Rick. I got to mix Rick. Oh, I wrestled to King Jerry Lawler. Thanks to
Right.
Pat Rose, who I love Pat Rose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm sure you know Pat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because of him, I got to work with Jerry Lawler, and that's a story I always tell and put Pat over because of it. But this is
Oh
so
my
many,
God.
yeah. And the same match with the King, it was a tag team match. It was me and Pat against Jeff Jarrett, and the King with Jarrett was awesome too.
Right.
Uh, So many. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, so many.
If he break a sweat with Lawler, there's something wrong with the universe. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, and he has the best punch in the business when he was on.
yes,
You didn't feel it. Jab, jab, punch. You didn't feel. All you felt was the bump you took. And to me, that's the art of wrestling. Any idiot can punch somebody. There's no art in that. No skill in that.
right.
But I wrestled Ricky Steamboat, Cactus Jack a bunch
Oh,
of times. Steamboat was awesome. Bobby Eaton,
oh
Bobby
man,
Eaton was awesome. Arn Anderson.
wow.
Oh
Oh
man, I don't
God,
know, so many more. But
that's
Abdul the
amazing.
Butcher, which was just fun. People may not think that, but Abby was fun.
Yeah. Oh gosh, man. God, that resume. I mean, unbelievable. Some of the best in the ring, hands down.
Say, yes, folks, I lost them all. But who did you wrestle? That's what I like to say.
Right. Yes.
Call me
Exactly.
what you want, think what you will. I had the best time of my life. Win, lose, or draw. I didn't care. I was just there to have fun, and I had fun.
Oh
No,
man,
no regrets, no Bret Hart bitterness, just great memories.
great memories.
Plus, Dustin Rhodes had Dustin Rhodes' first match ever, as well as the second, third, and many times after that. One of the best, also.
Did being in the ring with him back then? Did you see his potential to
I
where
didn't
he is
really
now?
think about it. I didn't really think about it. I was just doing my thing, and having
Mhm.
fun. Dustin, but all the years I knew Dustin, he never changed to me anyways. He was always just super cool, laid back, never showed an ego. And he was on, imagine the pressure he had. I mean, good Lord, Dusty Rhodes, one of the biggest stars in the business. And Dusty was still going strong at that time when Dustin broke in. And so he had a lot of big shoes to fill. And I think he did a great job creating his own legend.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because let's face it, his dad was a rock star.
Yeah, and Dustin's overcome a lot of personal issues, but he's come out on the other side. And I'm proud of him for that alone.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
unlike a lot of guys that would get jealous, I was proud of Dustin for his success. You had a lot of
Right.
pressure. A lot of people don't. It's like when all the people that ragged on Eric Watts when he came. Eric was a cool guy, easy to work with. He was just trying to learn. He was put in a tough position. What's he supposed to do? Turn it down? Same with Van
Right.
Hammer, which was also a good friend. He passed away this year. But Van Hammer comes
Mhm.
in and people were criticizing him. They offered him money. What's he going to do? Now I'll just wait it out on the indies for $20 a night and see if I make it. No, he was offered an opportunity, took advantage of it. And I think he did really good. If you go back and watch some of his matches, which I was doing before he passed away, because I was helping him with a project, putting together some highlights of his matches, he was a lot better he had a better punch in that era than anybody in wrestling today.
Right.
Pretty much. I'm not kidding. In that era, if he was in wrestling today at the exact same level he was then, he'd have the best punch in the business today, because no one throws good punches today except a few guys.
Yeah, gosh, the business has changed so much. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's unreal to see what's happening now, and just them neglecting the little things.
Yeah, I see. I sometimes I don't want to blame the talent, but I do blame the talent, because you should take pride in what you do, and they should be smart enough to know that no matter how excited the crowd is, you're going to hook them in so much more if they believe what you're doing. If you go out there and, I'm going to hurt you, and they get into a little, sissy fight back and forth, and the punches look like crap, nobody's going to take it as serious as if you're throwing bombs that look good. When you're not hurting each other, but you're throwing bombs that look good, the people are going to get more excited because they're going to believe it. Doesn't matter if common sense tells you if you punch them in the face, there should be a red mark. Your brain wants you. All you want them to do is question it. You go, my God, I swear I heard it hit. I saw it hit. I don't see a mark. Maybe he didn't touch it, but I swear he did. Just keep them guessing rather than, oh crap, that looked like crap, Which is what most. And I also blame the companies. What do you got your agents for? If I was an agent, I'd be going, come here. Your punches suck. You do realize you're on national TV. We got 830,000 people watching right now on TBS. Clean it up or get out. I mean, that's what I would be like if,
Absolutely. I mean,
Tony
I
Khan,
think yeah. Oh my God.
It's like, great. Darby Allin can do a flip off a balcony and fall through 3 tables and get blown up. Yeah, but can he throw a decent punch? It all should be tied together. It should all be important.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like a lot of that's fallen off the cracks as of lately, that they've forgotten like the true art of our business and
Yeah,
storytelling and that disconnect and have the importance of have that connection with your audience.
yeah. I don't get it. And even if like, remember when Chris Jericho had that feud with Shawn Michaels and he really punched Shawn's wife in the mouth?
Oh
Even when
yeah,
accident, and it looked great. You don't really want to punch somebody, but it's certainly added to the match. I mean,
right,
accidents
right.
happen. I did that to Jerry Gray's girlfriend who went on to become his ex-wife back around 88. They're like, oh, yeah, you got to punch Brandy. You got to punch. No, I don't want to punch her. I might hurt her. And I punched her and I gave her a fat lip. I was like, she gave me a dirty look for a while, but we got over it.
Yeah. But see, back in our era, it was good for the business. Even accidents like that was good for the business because we had
Yeah.
the art down. I mean,
Yep.
pretty much patented. And
It's a whole thing. It's like they say kayfabe is dead. Kayfabe is not dead. They want it. They can bring it back. It happens every once in a while. I remember when Charlotte Flair was feuding with, I think, Becky Lynch for WrestleMania. Everybody thought, oh my God, they hate each other for real. It's because they portrayed it up. And then after the WrestleMania match, they took a picture together laughing in the dressing room. You're like, and the fans ate it up. They bought it. And then they got pissed because they were fooled. See, the fans want to be fooled. They want to be convinced that what they're watching is real. And then when they find out it was the work, then they get pissed.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
absolutely.
And I remember watching that thinking, the whole time the fans were thinking, "Oh, these girls hate each other. It's a shoot. It's a shoot." And then after that match, where they're in the dressing room laughing together, you're like, "The marks can be controlled." I don't mean to say
yes,
marks, but the idiots. I mean, no wait.
I mean, the audience wants that connection with us, man, and you can't disrespect it by forgetting, what it's all about.
Yep. And until somebody wants to bring it back, it's never going to come back. But that's the way it is. And social media doesn't help. When you have a good match and someone goes, "I want to thank so and so for such an easy match." I've done it myself. Even now, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
I'm a nobody. It's different when you're on national TV and doing it.
I mean, even the match the other night I watched with Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio, right?
Well, I thought that was a really good match, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the people. I mean, even though they pretty much knew the outcome, they wanted to see the upset. They wanted so bad to see Ray pull off something amazing. And, so the art's still there. I mean, it's just a matter of giving it to him.
And when you think Ray's 52 years old almost, that was something amazing. I mean, the guy's a legend.
Yes.
Still going strong, not missing a beat.
Oh, I don't see how he does it. It's amazing to watch him do what he does at his age.
Yep.
And I remember watching a main event with him and Scott Steiner on Nitro, right?
Wow.
And I remember everybody in the locker room, everybody was in the monitor watching that match, and we were just amazed. I mean, him and Scott just turned it up a notch, and it was one of the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, Scott was always fun to work with. A lot of the other TV guys might not agree, but the Steiners were always cool to me.
Oh yeah, they're great, and they're amazing. Boy, they could eat, but they were amazing.
Yeah. You didn't have to help them with much, when they're doing moves. Like Rick would whip. The only thing you had to watch out for is Rick Steiner, because he'd whip in the ropes and just go, "Guess what?" And that meant either a clothesline or a power slam or something else. So you're just coming off the ropes, like trying to be in position to whatever position he's in, knowing what he's going to do. Well, get killed.
Oh man. So I mean, with the day's industry, the importance of the punches in our business. Who do you think right now throws some of the best punches?
I like Cody Rhodes' punch most of the time because it's kind of old school the way he does that. And, Randy Orton has a decent punch. A lot of times punches can be better or worse based on how you feel. Like Randy's had a lot of shoulder problems, so I'm trying to think. Logan Paul has a great punch actually most of the time.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He uses it as a finish, so it must be pretty good. Excuse me. But yeah, I like Logan Paul. I think he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought?
You know, he's dedicated. He's like one of the guys that once he first got into business, he had a ring set up at his house. He was always, I watched, you know, I follow his YouTube channel, and he was always practicing new moves and stuff, trying to learn as much as he could. And he has a great attitude about the business, at least as of now.
Right.
Things could change if they start using him less than favorable in his eyes. Then, you know, these guys change quicker than a guy that's been in the business for years. But hopefully that won't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. There's still money to be made with him.
I'm just trying to think of guys, like you say now. I mean, you can only go back to the old, like Austin had a good punch most of the time. Triple H, Undertaker had a fantastic punch. Flair had a great punch.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite punches, though, obviously, was Jerry Lawler. Dick Murdoch had an awesome punch. Terry Funk had an awesome punch.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you hear those stories, well, I always wondered why Terry's punch was so good. And he hit me with it once, and I realized he just hit you, which isn't true. Maybe it was true to those people, but I was in a battle royal with Terry once, and he gave me a punch. You didn't even feel him. And if you go back, you watch some of his matches in Japan with Brody and Abby and the Sheik, and the punches look amazing. But if you're smart, like you and I are to the business, you can tell he's not really hitting them that hard. You know, he has a knack, especially the left-hand punch, which he always threw almost like he's pitching a baseball. And his matches with Jerry Lawler were just amazing.
Oh, yes.
But you just go back to think of those, like Killer Kyle Cox, Dick Murdoch had awesome punches.
Oh,
Jack Briscoe and Jerry Briscoe had great. 80 Graham and Mike Graham. Oh, geez, we could go on. The great Malenko had a great punch. You go on and on of the old school guys that had great punches.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. It's such a lost art.
Yeah. Really even a guy, remember Sweet Brown Sugar used to wear his mask?
Yes.
His name was
Skip Young. Yeah.
He had, besides having one of the best drop kicks in wrestling, he had a great punch, too.
Yeah, he did. Oh, man. Sweet Brown Sugar, man. Gosh.
Yeah. Nice guy. Nice guy.
And I know Steve Curran had an awesome forearm.
Oh, yes. He also had a great punch, too, because he had fire in his punch. He had a forearm. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, that looked like it killed you. But guess what?
Yeah.
It didn't, because Steve was one of the best in the business. I mean, I took that form. He whips you off the ropes, and he gives you, boom, you just take your bump.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy as lemon squeezy, as Negan would say from The Walking Dead for all you zombie fans out there. I don't know, but
yeah. Speaking of, I heard they're doing a reunion coming up, like for a show.
I haven't heard that. I know they've had a lot of different spinoffs. They had like Daryl had a spinoff, and Negan had a spinoff with Maggie, and what's his name, Rick and Michonne had a spinoff. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything else.
Yeah. I can't believe it's gone as long as it has.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched any of the spinoffs, but I love the original.
Oh, me too.
And that's not something I would normally watch either. I mean, I just started watching it one night after the show had run it, or after a few years after the show started. I just happened to be on Netflix. It was there. And I was like, let me check this out. 4 hours later, I'm like at 4 a.m. yelling, "Holy crap!" My wife comes out of there. What's going on? I was like, I just fell in love with the show, and I love the bad guys like the Governor and Negan. I thought they were awesome.
Yes, great heels. Absolutely.
Yep. But anyways,
yep. So, who've been some of the talent that's you've taken under your wing and they're finding success now in the business?
Oh, I can't think of anybody, to be honest with you. No, I mean, I'm not a good teacher. That's one thing. I can give people advice, but it's, most people don't want to take advice. It's like, oh, well, what'd you ever do? But I'm just not a good teacher. And I've tried so many times over the year. Even like last year, I was running a school and I hated it. I mean, I dreaded it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be a sissy, but there were some Sunday mornings where I'd just sit in my room knowing that I had to go do this training, and I would just cry because I hated it so much. Dreaded it. I'm just not a good teacher. I don't have patience. I don't, and if you're telling the young kids stories, well, go watch matches with Dick Murdoch and blah, blah, and they'd be, who? Oh, that would just set me off. Be like, well, you're trying to be a wrestler and you tell me you don't know any of the history,
Right.
It just make me snap, Like I would tell them, we used to have Carl Gotch come in and work out with us and beat the crap out of us. at Malenko's school every once in a while. And I go, "Who's Carl Gotch?" Oh,
Oh
that's
my god.
crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw the video clip with Tiffany Stratton where she was trying for the life of her to figure out who Sergeant Slaughter was.
Right. She's like, was it like SGT Slaughter? What? It's like, oh my god! And she was trained by
Wow.
Greg Gagne. She was trained by Greg
Yes.
Gagne. You'd think she'd know a little more, but she's good. She's good. I like her.
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah.
Like a lot of
Great.
people get on. I like Sol Ruka too. I think she's got a bright.
So
future.
Roka. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. She had a great
Yeah.
match this week with Lila Valkyria.
Yeah,
I thought-
she's another solid worker.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Absolutely.
Of course, I'm
Absolutely.
superficial too. If they're fat and ugly, I'd be like, I don't care how good they are. I have no interest. No, but I just thought it was a good match.
Yeah. The appearance is important.
That finish that Soul does is just like, how it's got to be rough on her because she's the one taking the bump.
Right. And the timing's got to be just right.
Yeah, because it gets messed up once in a while, but it's not something that that happens.
Right. Bless
I
her.
mean, you and I never messed up, but I mean, it's all
Yeah.
these up and comers. They mess up once in a while.
Oh goodness. So it's pretty well known that you are a big admirer of the legendary Evil Knievel.
I love Evil Knievel. Actually, made 2 custom posters this week with the magic of the AI and a editing program that I use, and I already ordered them. They should be here tomorrow.
Fantastic.
I loved what
Oh.
you can do with AI nowadays. It's amazing.
It really is. It really is,
Like
and
it's-
it's only get bigger.
Yeah. It's only in its infancy. I can't stand the people that are like AI slop. And I mean, there's a lot of people that it all depends on what you're using, your prompts you're using, the time you want to put into it, and some are better than others. But man, when it's good, it's amazing. I mean, God, I made something just out of the fun of it. Like how some of these guys, like Tommy Rich lately, has been making these flyers where it's like, bring Tommy Rich to your shows, whatever. And I did one for myself, and you just put in a few prompts like trained by the great Malenko, blah, blah, blah. And it made a spectacular like advertisement if I ever decided to take the chance and get booked on something, It's crazy.
Man.
But I love messing with it. And what AI can do with old pictures. I take old pictures of Evil and add color and make them crystal clear when they're not so clear. And it's just like, holy crap. I wish Evil was here to see it.
Right.
And they just opened the new Evil Knievel experience in Las Vegas, which has a lot of my stuff in it. It was originally called the Evil Knievel Museum. It was in Topeka, Kansas. I went to the grand opening. And they renamed it the Evil Knievel Experience. They did that in honor of Evil because before, I don't know if you know, I was friends with Evil.
Mm-hmm.
But before he passed away, he was trying to get a museum open, and it was going to be called the Evil Knievel Experience. And a friend and I took a bunch of his stuff out to Vegas for him because it was going to be in Prim, Nevada, which is a few hours, I guess it's going towards California. So I don't know where that was going to be, and it just never was able to come together for whatever reasons. So when they opened it in Vegas last month, they called it the Evil Knievel Experience, and it looks amazing. I couldn't make it to the grand opening because of health reasons, stupid heart attacks, but
yeah.
But I'm hoping to be there by the end of the year.
That's cool. That's cool, and I'm glad you're healthy, up and at 'em.
Well, I don't
ready
know
to go.
about that part. I'm on a bunch of different meds. I got to go get blood tests next week. I got to go to another doctor in 3 weeks. So I don't know about healthy, but trying. I'm trying to stay healthy with 7 dews a day keeps the doctor away. I don't know.
7 Dews, yes. Gotta have the Mountain Dew.
Maybe 8.
Right.
But yeah, I absolutely love Evil Knievel.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their thing, Some people love Elvis, some people like that. You can't explain it. I mean, I have no. He just clicked with me when I was 5 years old back in 1968, and he's been my man ever since. You have rules in the house. You can't speak ill of Evil Knievel, Terry Funk, the Great Malenko, Don Rickles, Raquel Welch, or Muhammad Ali in the cooker's present, or we're going to have trouble.
Absolutely, amen to that, man. All-time
Those are
greats.
all my Those are all my favorite. Oh, and William Smith, the great William Smith. I'm not talking
William
about the kid who slapped kid Rick. What is Chris Rock? I'm talking about William Smith, the badass actor from the 60s and 70s.
Right, right.
One of my all-time favorite actors. But
Oh
those are
man.
like my top list of,
Can,
people on a
can,
pedestal.
when you were talking earlier about AI, can you imagine Terry Funk alive today using AI?
Yeah,
Oh my
it
god.
would be funny. I've made a lot of cool
Yeah.
stuff with the AI. With I make my own T-shirts with AI. I've made Terry Funk T-shirts that turn out amazing, and I
Uh-huh.
just buy them for myself.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But it's not like a magic pill. I mean, you do have to put a little effort into it, and
Oh yeah.
different programs give different results, and it's all on how much you want to put into it. But
Right.
it's something to do.
Do you have a favorite Terry Funk story you'd like to share?
I don't know. Just anytime Terry Funk was around, I was like a lapdog and sit right next to him, and he didn't care. He'd sit there and tell you stories, and this when in '89 when he came to Florida to wrestle Dusty Rhodes in Miami at the James L. Knight Convention Center for
Mhm.
PWA Wrestling, which was a company that originally was Florida Championship Wrestling that Mike Graham and Steve Kern started after that bug-eyed mongoloid-looking freak Jim Crockett shut original Championship Wrestling from Florida down. Steve Kern, Mike Graham, and Gordon Sully reopened it up as Florida Champ, so FCW as opposed to CWF. And then Dusty came in and changed it because he got a money mark. But anyways, Terry was wrestling Dusty in a bunkhouse match in the main event, and I went. I was working for the company for a while. Then the pay started getting so bad that I quit because I was making more money working for WCW and Independence in Florida. But I went to that show because my friend Penelope Paradise was wrestling Wendy Richter, and I had a camcorder at the time.
wow.
So I went to the show to videotape her match, which recently was finally converted to put up on YouTube. And then I went to tape Terry's match, which was, as far as I know, I'm the only one who has footage from that match. It's on YouTube for all you people that want to see it. It's like about 15 minutes of footage. I wasn't a great cameraman, but it's awesome to see. And Steve Kern was like one of the guys there, and I was like, Steve, do you care if I tape the match? He goes, do what you want, Bob. So he didn't care. But earlier in the day, I was sitting, standing in the hallway with Terry talking to him, and he was sitting on a forklift. And some security guard came over and said, hey, you can't sit on the forklift. And Terry just gave him a dirty look. And the guy just got the message real quick. And basically Terry turned it, character, right? And he went back to talking to me, and I thought it was hilarious, right? And then later, Terry and I are standing by the curtain, peeking through the curtain, watching the matches, and a little kid came up to Terry and asked for his autograph, and Terry was real rude to him, like, get out of here, you little bastard. And I told Terry, I said, Terry, why were you so mean to that kid? He goes, Bob, if these people look over here and see me being nice to that kid, they're not going to believe that I'm the badass I pretend to be when I walk through the curtain in a few minutes. And I was like, you know what? That makes absolute perfect sense. And then later that night after the show, my friend Penelope and I were sitting in the bar with Terry for several hours just talking, and a commercial for Roadhouse came on. And Terry's telling me a story, and these girls come over to the table, and they go, hey, well, you're the guy that was just in that commercial. And Terry looked at me and goes, get out of here, bastards. I'm talking to my friend. And they just like scurried away, and then Terry went back to talking to me. And I just was like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. He just told all these girls to get hit the bricks because he's talking to his friend.
Oh man,
that reminds me of a story. I don't know if you want to hear that with Evel Knievel. I mean, it's a sad story, but it's not a sad story because I won't go to that part. But Evel was in the hospital getting surgery because during the last few years of his life, or his whole life, but the last few years of his life, he was really suffering. And he had all these back surgeries and all these things to hopefully give him a quality of life better than zero. And he was in the hospital for the last back surgery where they were going to surgically implant a morphine drip into his back with some type of electronic device that every once in a while would just automatically shoot morphine through his back so he wouldn't be in so much pain. And he's sitting there and he's telling me what's going on, and he's showing me the x-rays, and the nurses come in, And they go, Mr. Knievel, I just wanted to introduce you to your new nurse, and I wanted to know what a good time was for us to go over things. He goes, well, a good time isn't when I'm sitting here talking to my friends. So until then, get out. And I was the same way. I was like, oh, that was so cool. He shooed his nurse away to continue telling me what he was talking about.
Wow.
Anyways, but then later on is part of that makes me cry, so I don't want to get into that. And I didn't cry in front of Evil, but when I left the room with my wife, and I broke down big time. That's like a cliffhanger, right? People are like, what are you talking about? Did Evil do a nipple twister or something on him? Why did he cry? But,
man. Oh, man.
But I always cry. I always cry when I tell that part of the story. I'm a sissy that way,
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Oh, man. Man, I miss Evil Knievel so much, man.
Oh, me too. He was the coolest. I could call him anytime I want. He used to call me at 2 a.m. just to go, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm watching this. He goes, oh, well, I'm watching that. And then we just talk. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh, man. That's
and
so
I would
cool.
always, a lot of times I'd call him and I go, I'm not bothering you, am I? And he goes, Bob, you couldn't bother me if you wanted to. When I go to bed, I shut my phone off. Call anytime you want. Now, I never called as late as he did, but I would call him for just dumb reasons because just an excuse to talk to him,
Right.
Like one year the Super Bowl was won by this Adam Vinatieri, I think his name was. I'm not a football guy. He was the kicker, and he was actually related to Evil. And when he kicked the winning field goal, the announcers go, "Oh, he's got the same courage as his cousin or whatever it is, because he's got Knievel blood in him." And I called Evil right quick, and I went, "Evil, is that guy really related to you?" He goes, "He sure is, and he just won me a fortune." Because Evil was a big gambler.
Right.
And then there was this other time when this guy did a jump over the fountains, because Evil was famous for missing the fountain jump back in '67, and this guy, Mike Metzger, I think, he did a backflip over the fountain or some silly thing. And they had Evil as part of the show. Evil wasn't healthy enough to travel at that time because he was, I think he might have been recovering from his liver transplant or something. So they did it all from his house, right? They did like a Mission Impossible thing where they're talking to Evil, and after this, recording, we'll self-destruct, whatever. But the guy did the jump, right? And after the jump, he's like, they're interviewing him, and he's sticking his tongue out, and he's acting like a complete asshole. Sorry.
Oh, man.
And the announcers go, "Oh, I'm sure Evil Knievel is beaming with pride at home." And I called Evil, said, "Evil, so you're beaming with pride?" Beaming with pride. He goes, "Oh, that son of a bitch trying to embarrass it, sticking his tongue out on TV. How disrespectful." I actually was like, I knew you'd say that.
Oh, man.
So it was just cool to be able to do that kind of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
And then anytime he was in town near me doing autograph signings, because he used to tour around the country and do autograph signings at grand openings of motorcycle dealerships and Harley dealerships and different things. And he'd always call and ask us to come hang out, my wife and I. And that was just so cool. He'd always give my wife a kiss on that cheek. "How you doing, kiddo?" Every time he'd call my house, he'd want to talk to you. He goes, "Where's your son?" I said, "He's around here. We'll go get him." And he'd talk to my son, and afterwards I'd say, "What do you say?" "Oh, he's telling me to stay in school and do my best I can." Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome.
That's so cool. So you're really involved nowadays with the Cauliflower Island Club, and and they have their upcoming. I think the 60th anniversary.
Technically, it's the 61st, but it's being called the 60th because we missed a year when the COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
But so it is the 60th get-together reunion. But the company or the organization's been around for 61 years. But yeah, it's this week coming up. And I'm the social media coordinator.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, which means I'm God on social media pages. If you say something bad, I can delete you. And unfortunately, I have to do that a lot. When Hulk Hogan passed away, I always commemorate people that I cared about. Like, I was always a big Hulk Hogan fan. And, I swear I cried off and on for a week after he died because I went down the rabbit holes of all the newscasters. For the most part, his death was treated so much better than I thought people would because of that one negative BS.
Yeah.
And I saw newscasters crying when they were saying Hulk died because they all grew up on him. And he had been on a lot of them. They come out with that archive footage of him on their shows. And it was just crazy. But like this year, This year, I obviously, when he passed away, I think it was July 24th or whatever, I honored him on the Cali Fairlight Club pages, remembering the legendary Hulk or whatever. And you always
Mhm.
have people that got to make comments. And those people are no longer able to look at our pages because I don't tolerate it. I don't care. He was one of
Right.
Brian Blair's best friends. I'm not going to let people talk bad about Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Jeez. Why would you do that? You know, like people always burden in hell, blah, 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 block, delete.
Oh man, and he's done so much for our business that we can never repay.
Oh, no doubt. People don't realize that.
Mm.
Especially the younger fans, you know, they don't care about history, who came before. All they care about is who's entertaining them now, and that's sad. But that is the way it is. It is what it is. I know a lot of people don't like that saying. I don't even know what it means, but it just happens to be is what it is. I don't.
Right. Yeah. But the California Club, I think is that next week? The reunion?
The initially starts on Sunday. Not necessarily. It's not the official part of the club, but they're doing a Sim Bodie does a thing called Wrestling on the Fly every year at the Plaza, where the whole event is. And I think it's like Sunday night. It's called Wrestling on the Fly or On the Fly, and where he got all these people that signed up to be part of the show, and they sit in the crowd, I guess, and then the legends like Brian Blair and whoever might be there will pick who wrestles who. It's like, you are wrestling him, get in the ring, and you just call it on the fly. It's a great concept, right? I mean, it's not none of this going over it 10 hours before the show and then forgetting the first 2 minutes.
Yeah,
that's what it means, on the fly. So they just pick, and then I guess they vote who did the best or whatever. Because how many guys can even do that now?
Oh, right. And that's another art form that we mastered back in the day. You know, calling the ring.
A lot of times it wasn't even in the same dressing room with the guys. You know, they had heel dressing rooms, babyface on the other side of the arena. And I remember one time Chris Champion. I don't know if you knew Chris, but
oh yeah, Chris Champion.
Yeah, great guy. Had his issues, but we won't get into that. He liked the lady, but anyways,
yeah.
But we had a show we were doing in Tallahassee, and Chris and I rode a lot here in Florida wrestling, and rode together a lot. But Chris was never on time. You know, I get to his house and he's not even packed or nothing. So he'd always go, "Hey, we got to leave at 4, Chris," when he really didn't have to leave till 5. You know, because he'd be. I got to his house. We were going to go from Tampa to Tallahassee because we had to wrestle at the Tallahassee Civic Center.
Okay.
And Chris wasn't ready, so we got a late start again. And Chris is driving like a maniac all the way there. I mean, we're 100 miles an hour through small towns wherever. And,
oh man!
And we're so behind. I was like, I got dressed while Chris is driving. We pull over. I get behind the wheel. Chris is getting dressed. We're driving. You know, we get to the arena probably a half hour late. You know, show already started, whatever. And we walk in, and Bob Roop is there standing in the hallway. He said, "Where you guys been?" And Chris gave him whatever the story. Well, I had a flat tire, whatever. He goes like, "All right, you guys are next." So the whole point of the story is we already were dressed. Because we were teaming that night against Mike Graham and Steve Kerr. We were dressed. We threw our bags in the dresser, went right to the ring. Referee was Fonzie. He told us to finish, and the bell rang, and we went, and that was it. I mean, you know, besides wrestling greats like Mike Graham and Steve Kerr, 2 of the best ever laced their boots.
Oh man,
you just didn't talk about nothing. And anyways, the best part about that story is that we drove back home. Obviously, you drive back home, and we weren't going as fast, but Chris was still speeding, and he got pulled over by a cop at like 3 a.m. for going like 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, which is the funny part, because on the way there, they literally were driving 100 miles an hour to get there, and he gets a ticket going through a small town, Brooksville, which is not too far from me now, for like 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, you know.
Oh, man. Oh, you mentioned Steve Kerr and Mike Graham. They were like one of my favorite tag teams of all time.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
Great. Yeah.
Oh man.
And that when me and Jerry Gray were the Mighty Yankees, we won the Florida Tag Team Championships for Mike and Steve on TV. So there's proof.
Oh man.
But the point is, we were married to them, as we say in the business, you know, for a while. Where every night we were wrestling them in semi-main events and main events. Main events when Flair wasn't in town, semi when Rick was in town, you know. But man, it was so much fun. Like every night, you just couldn't wait to get to the next show because it's just fun.
Right.
They were
right.
two of the absolute best. You didn't even have to. You didn't talk about nothing. You didn't have to.
No.
It's just fun. You know, Steve used to do a funny thing. You know about getting blood in wrestling. Like Steve, I remember one time I was I give him a snapmare or something. I always like to do the Jerry Lawler fist drop because I was a big Jerry Lawler fan. So I give him the fist drop, and I look down, and Steve's going like this, like he's gigging himself.
Right.
And I started to laugh, right? And then after the match, though, I asked Steve, I said, "Why were you doing it?" He goes, "Well, you know, Bob, a lot of people think that when we do that, we're cutting ourselves. So if I do it and there's no blood, people go, hey, maybe that's not what they do." It made perfect sense, right?
Right.
He's going like that. There's no blood. If a fan's watching, he's cutting himself. Oh, shoot. No, he's not. So the next time he does it where he is cutting himself, they go, they makes him question it anyways. I don't know. Wrestler logic.
Oh, man. What a great era that was.
Oh, it was the best. It helps that we were young when you're in your youth and you're not thinking about your last days. You're thinking about your next days as opposed to now. It puts a different swing on things too, because you're looking through everything through the eyes of your youth. And your pain doesn't linger all the time like it does now.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were known at one point as Matt Superstar number 2, right?
But we never used the number 2 deal. That was we just called me the Matt Superstar.
Matt Superstar, okay.
People just say that number 2 just because it was just, because obviously Bill Eadie was the original. But that was in 1989. A lot of people give me flack for that, even today, because the guy who ran that show, his name was Henry Raines, has been uploading the shows in order on YouTube. And you always have people to say, that's not the real Matt Superstar. Who that? And you always had to explain it to them and say, look, here's the deal, idiots. First of all, the Matt Superstar stopped using the gimmicks years before because he became Demolition. This is 1989. I get a phone call from the great Malenko. He says, Bob, we're doing a show in Bradenton, Florida called Suncoast Pro Wrestling, and I want you to be the top heel as the Matt Superstar, and you're going to feud with my son, Dean. And, of course, I said, what are you, crazy? No, I said, of course I'll do it, sir. Yes, sir. So the great Malenko asked me to come in and be the Matt Superstar and feud with his son and others as the show went on, but it's like, why wouldn't I say yes? Bill Eadie quit using the gimmick. Malenko asked me to do it, and for help, Malenko's the one who gave Eadie the gimmick anyways. He was his manager in the beginning, in the 70s. So it's like, people just don't understand, well, you stole his gift. Well, first of all, he didn't copyright it, okay? And, we never went out there and tried to make fun of it or anything. I was, played a serious bad guy. But you always have people who are like that now, and that's all it boils down to. Is the great Malenko asked me to do it, and I did it. I would do it again. Although later, like somehow Eadie found out about it because we had local TV, and he asked us. I don't know who he asked. I don't know if he threatened him or what, but he asked if we stopped using the term Matt Superstar. So my manager at the time was Penelope Paradise, so we were just going to call me the Superstar from now on. So she went out and cut a promo and goes, well, we know people are idiots, but as you can see, he's wearing a mask. And he is a superstar. From now on, we're not going to call him the Matt Superstar because obviously he's got a mask on. He's just the superstar. So we did that to just appease whatever Bill Eadie had a problem with. But I had no problem with Bill Eadie. I think Bill Eadie was awesome. I always liked the Matt Superstar gimmick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think some people didn't really realize how many assassins and super destroyers and
definitely.
my God.
Thunderfoots. Right. You remember the assassins? Joe Cruz and I were actually training at the power plant to become the new assassins, and we were going to have Jody Hamilton as our manager in WCW. And we would go there, we'd train with DDP and Jody. Jody would get in the ring and showing us all these real subtle tag team things that nobody does anymore that would just cause a crowd to go crazy. I mean, little things like, I can remember it to this day. Jody's got one of us in a front face, rear chin lock, whatever it is, front face, like whatever. And he's trying to make the corner, or like the baby face is trying to make his corner. And Jody, just one leg starts twitching. So he's giving in to the power of the babyface. And then he gets the babyface back under control, and then the babyface pushes again, and he's got that one leg's twitching, then it's twitching more, then more, and little things like that would make the crowd be like, "Hell yeah," crazy. But it just didn't. We never like came to fruition, as they say. But it was fun training with those guys to do that.
Oh, I believe that. Oh my gosh.
It was me and Joe Cruz. I don't know if I mentioned Joe, but yeah.
Joe Cruz.
Yeah.
Now you were Florida Tag Team Champions at one time, right?
Yep. NWA Florida Tag Team. We had me and Jerry Gray. It's funny, when we won the titles, we won it at the fairgrounds in Tampa. And we got back in the dressing room, and Jerry and I went in the closet, and we're jumping up and down like kids. Oh, I can't believe we did. It's a work, but we were so excited,
Right. That's great. Oh man. So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then of course Jerry passed away this year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
He was an awesome guy too.
Gosh.
He's actually the first person I worked with on Championship Wrestling from Florida. Was at the 80 Gram Sports Complex.
Oh wow.
And Malenko used to have two schools. He had one in Tampa. We had one in Miami too, but he had one in Tampa and Plant City, which aren't too far from each other. And for years, I would still go to the schools just to absorb his knowledge and see the new prospects and whatever, right?
Right.
I always went. It was Tuesdays and Thursdays in Tampa, and the weekends out in Plant City. He had a friend who had a barn, or actually it was a Money Mark. We had a barn. He had a ring under it, and every once in a while, I'd go up there on a Sunday. And I was there on a Sunday, and a guy named Louis Estea, who'd been wrestling for Florida, or wrestling for years, but Florida. And Louis was one of the few guys that could wrestle for Florida and do independence without getting any heat. So he was always on our shows with Malenko and whatever. And Louis came by to school, and he's like, "Hey, we need somebody to work at the Eddie Graham Sports Complex tonight for Championship Wrestling from Florida." I was like, "I'll do it." And I drove the 2 hours back home, which, it's funny. You always taught to bring your gear to a show, but I never would wear my gear when I went to practice. I wore my boots, knee pads, but I never wore my actual outfit or whatever you want to call it. So I went all the way home, 2.5 hours all the way home, got my gear, drove 3.5 hours back to Orlando, and did the show. And first time I ever met Jerry, and we're in the dressing room together. And we're going over a few things, and Jerry's like, "Are you sure you can do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do it," because he didn't know me from Adam, right? And we went out there and had not to brag, but we had a really good match, and we were friends ever since.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny, when we became the Mighty Yankees, it was just as simple. We were at Robarts Arena in Sarasota. With the heel dressing room was on one side of the arena, babyface on the other, and they're like, "Hey, Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan want to see you guys." And we're like, "Oh crap, what do we do?" Because they were like the guys that Mike owned the company and Kevin ran it, or both of them did. And we get in the dressing room and goes, "Hey, we want you guys to be the Mighty Yankees, and you're going to be the champions, and here's your masks." We're like, awesome, right? Pay went up, bookings went up, so I'm not going to argue with that, right?
No doubt. No doubt. Is there any projects, anything that you're working on right now you'd like to share?
No. I try not to do. I like to say I like to do as much as possible, but I like to do as little as possible, but as much as I can. That's
good philosophy.
Yeah, I'm going to a show this next Sunday at the Dallas Bowl in Tampa, only because one of my friends is the booker, and I get in free, All
right.
And then on September 5th, you saw that video. You see that flyer the guy made for the September 5th show, where it's like your chance not to meet Bob Cook.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. You saw that? Wasn't that funny?
Yeah.
Because I'll be there. Because I always used to tell people, "I'll be at the show, but you won't hurt my feelings if you don't say hi." So he just made that as a joke.
Oh man. So how could people stay in touch with you, Bob?
Oh, geez, I don't know if I want them to. Today is my birthday, and I got all kinds of birthday wishes on my private messenger from people.
I was getting happy birthday.
Why do you have to private message me and wish me a happy birthday? I don't even know you people. I go down the list of people who wish you happy birthday. Like, Oh, Rip Rogers. Okay, I like that. Thank you, Rip. Because I love Rip. Uh,
Right.
and all these people that right, like Leilani Kai and people that are just real friends and you love me. I'll respond to them, but the rest of go, I don't know them. I don't know them. I don't. But I got like over 500 birthday wishes. What are people nuts?
Oh gosh.
All I can think if they each would have sent me $10, that would have been a nice little birthday gift.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be a great birthday.
Yeah, it's bad with you people. It's only $10.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not going to go to California Alley because, my health isn't the best right now. And I hate to travel, and there's no way I'm going to Vegas twice in 1 year because, like I said, I want to go to the Evil Museum, and
Yeah.
that will be my one travel for the year.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm doing the same thing. Trying to get my health straight. So I know the feeling.
I haven't been able to work out for like 4 months, which like you used to work out probably, and it's hard not to. Not that I was ever in great shape, but you work out and try to make you feel better about yourself. But just I'm tired all the time. I got no energy. Just all this heart stuff. I'm on all these meds. I did tell my doctor that I got to go see her on the 16th of next month. I told her, I got a lot of pain and I'm not above becoming an addict. Let's try to figure this out. She just laughs. She's like, hey, I have no problem. I don't care. Let me sit here and stare at the wall and think the TV's on. I don't care as long as I'm not in pain.
Right. I keep thinking back. I was watching Terry one time walking down the hall, and and saying, "I don't know why they keep bringing me back. I have to take pills to walk. I need to go back home where somebody loves me."
Yeah, it was crazy to see Terry. Right, he'd limping around the dressing room and stuff. And as soon as he goes through that curtain, he was the old Terry strutting to the ring.
Oh yeah,
he could just turn it on, turn it off. See, to me, that's a professional.
Yes.
You got some guys like you'll hear stories where Goldberg had to psych himself up. Your character's not that complicated, Bill. You're not gonna really bang your head bloody in the dressing room before you go out. I mean,
no,
it's not that complicated. I remember Jimmy Valiant used to like dance in the corner before he'd go out, and I go, it's really not that big of a character there, Jimmy. You're just dancing. But he'd like have to get into it, and it's like I like characters like Terry Funk where he could be going, no, I slapped her in the head and knocked her down. He goes to the curtain, he said, "Shut up, kid," he just turned it on,
Right.
That's to me like a great actor. It's like a Jim Carrey or not Jim Carrey, what's his name? Yeah, Jim Carrey. Where you had to channel Andy Kaufman and actually pissed the king off on the set of Man on the Moon. I was like, that's a stupid act. To me, an actor is action, act, cut, you're who you are. That's the best kind of actors.
Absolutely.
Like I love Don Rickles. You might not know that, but I've always loved Don Rickles. And
me too. I love Don. Yes.
Great story where he was like with either Gregory Peck and some other famous actor, and one of the other was the method actor type, and the other guy was just listening. He's like, I was with Gregory Peck, and he's like, just say the lines and let's go get drunk. And the other guy was just like, well, you gotta feel the character. And I was like, I like Gregory Peck better.
Did you see that behind the scenes clip? They're on set for Casino. It was Don and Robert De Niro, and during a scene where Don was saying something, but he forgot his lines, and then all of a sudden Don just goes off on De Niro and said, "Look, I'm the dummy. I'm the dummy that don't say anything, but you hear forgetting your lines. What's wrong with you, schmuck?" I'm like, oh my.
Rickles was the best.
Yes. Oh man. Hilarious.
I use that line a lot when there's like stupid people online doing stuff. Like, I'm not a big religious guy, but you'll see these videos of people like standing on the side of the road or in a parking lot and just yelling at people, "Jesus!" And I always comment like, "Why don't you get a horse, go live in the mountains, and stop bothering people?" It's like a line Don Rickles said in the movie Worker. What was it called? With the late Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. Like, work something. But I always love that line. Why don't you get a horse and go live in the mountains and stop bothering people?
I must have wore out.
Dirty Work, I think it was called.
Dirty Work, yes.
Yeah. But I have
I must,
loved Don Rickles for my whole life.
I must have wore out all those Dean Martin roast tapes
Oh
watching
yeah,
Don
those are
Rickles.
great too. Yeah, yeah. He did the roast of Evil Knievel once, was hilarious too.
Oh my gosh, the best.
Yeah, and
Just the best.
my friend Darlene and I got to see Don like probably the last year of his life. He did a show here in Florida, and we went to it. It was freaking awesome. Him and Regis filming, because Don wasn't able to do like he used to do, where you just get up and walk around and comment on things. So
Yeah.
Regis was there, and it was kind of like he interviewed him, but he was still hilarious.
Oh man,
And not obviously they're both gone. But you know who was there? You know who Dave Penzer is?
Dave. Oh yeah, Dave. Yeah, I know Dave.
Dave was there, and Cesaro, the guy was whatever his name is in AEW, but I think he was Cesaro in
Oh, okay.
WWE. He's got a weird name in
Uh-huh.
AEW, but he was at the show too. That's the only thing I'm thinking.
Oh wow.
But you know what's funny? I almost like slapped a guy at the show because you know the boots that Terry Funk used to wear, the little cowboy boots, tennis shoes,
Yeah.
bottoms. And he gave me a pair of those. I always like to bring that up.
Oh, those
My
are
first-
nice.
The ones I used to wear in the ring are the ones he gave me in '86. But anyways, my friend Darlene, I got her a pair of those. She wore them to the show,
Oh wow.
and we're walking. And you know, you wear those boots if you're smart. You tuck your pant legs in them because they're cool boots.
Oh yeah.
And we're walking down, and some guy goes, "Hey, nice boots," and I thought he said boobs. And I was like,
Oh.
"Excuse me?" He goes, "Yeah, nice boots." And I said, "Oh yeah, they are cool, aren't they?" I swear I thought he said boobs. Like what? You know,
Oh man.
not that you don't have nice boobs, but you don't be saying that.
Right. Oh goodness. Yeah, those are
But
some
yeah, it was
sweet looking
awesome.
boots.
That was
Oh,
like
man.
one of the bucket list things, you know,
Hmm.
seeing Don Rickles.
Oh man, no, I
Yeah.
can't imagine.
It's like when Darlene. I always bring up Darlene, but we went and saw Pink a few years ago. Oh my God, she was amazing.
Mm.
I've always been a big Pink fan.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got to see her up in California a while back. Some
Yeah,
years
she
back.
puts on an incredible show. It's like
Yeah.
I always tell people, I'll never go to another concert again because I'll always compare it to hers. Like, well, it wasn't as good as Pink. Why waste the money? You know, she was awesome.
Oh man, good stuff.
That's right. The cooker likes Pink. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of like today's music, and I'm an old school guy, like wrestling. You
Yeah.
know, I like the
Same.
Doors and the Who and the Beatles and the Pink Floyd and people like that.
Right.
Zeppelin.
Nice. Nice. Thank you, Bob, so much for being on the show tonight. This has been really cool. Well, I mean, we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's fun to jar the old memory banks, even though I kind of forgot what I said.
well, it's archived, so you can go back and listen, I guess.
Scary. But I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for being here. And thank you guys for listening. It's been a fun time tonight. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next Thursday. God bless you all. Thank you, Bob. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Love you, brother. Much
Love you.